Hey everyone, it's Anna J. Wellner with the Author Library Network and the Bookish Nook. And with me today, I am beyond honored to have Kate Stewart. You guys know her and love her, the author of the Ravenhood series, among a ton of other books. Kate, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored. I have not done anything publicly in quite a hot minute. I was thrilled when I got your email, and so thanks for having me.
Oh God, it is absolutely a pleasure. I can't tell you how much I am enjoying the series. I know that I'm like, I feel like I'm late to the party here.
Well,
But at least I made
I'm
it.
honored you're reading it. You know, a fellow is always it's amazing. You know, readers are amazing, and they definitely, take the bulk of the joy. But when another author starts reading your words, it's really honoring. Yeah, it's an honor for sure.
No, I'm honored, and a fellow Texan, or
Yes.
originally from Texas.
Raised for 22 years, so you can call me a Texan. It's even I've even got a Texan tattoo, which oddly I got in Tennessee, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah,
Oh,
born in Chicago and raised in Texas for 22 years, and I left. I got out of there.
no, I gotcha. Yeah, I was born here and adopted, and then I just kind of stayed around just because family's here, and
Yeah.
I just can't
I
think of
supported my
anywhere else to
sister, and
go.
she had children. I'd moved back. She has two children, and the oldest one just turned 16. So I'm a big fat liar, but I do not miss that weather, and
Yeah.
I vacationed for it took me 16 years to stop crying when I left. 16 years, because
Oh,
my entire family still lives there,
yeah.
and
No.
I'm the only one that flew the coop. So, but thank
Well,
God, because
well,
I have adventures, and I write a lot where I live. So
you know,
Ravenhood wouldn't have been born if I hadn't moved here.
there you go. I was gonna say, the what you were talking about earlier, how you live in the mountains. It kind of reminds me of some of the scenes that I have already read in a couple of the scenes in
I
these.
live in the
I
fictional
only have two
town.
hands.
You're fine. I live in the fictional town of Triple Falls. I live there. That place is real. Everything you're reading about is real. Sean and Cecilia's waterfall. It's called Moore Cove. And I just hiked there with my sister last weekend, and I took pictures and I put them on social media for the readers to see. And Triple Falls. There's actual Triple Falls here, but the town I live in is called Andersonville, North Carolina,
Gotcha.
and it's absolutely everything, including the gas station, the gas stations, the laundromat, the look, the feel, everything is here. There's an annual apple festival as well. So, yeah, it's
That
all here.
that is so cool. I mean, how
Mhm.
how how awesome is that to take inspiration from literally like your own backyard?
It's great until you have to reminisce and relive it over and over again, and really wish that the heroes were would come and make life a little bit more interesting. Yeah.
So, hey, I gotta know, do you have a lot of the old I used to drive a 1974 Pontiac GTO BT Dubs.
Oh,
Um,
girl.
yeah,
Woo!
look pretty good behind the wheel of that thing too.
I bought a Mustang um stick convertible a couple of years ago. Had my little midlife crisis. I think I was 39 when I bought it. And I rode the crap out of that thing. I mean, I raw dogged that thing. And then, I had it for 2 years, and I was okay. I love cars. I have a huge, huge, huge love for the Challenger, which surprisingly I didn't put in.
I know, right?
Um,
But I can
the
tell that
new the
you.
new and old model Challengers are really what get my
Oh yeah,
motor running, for lack of a better. I mean, it was
term.
fun, but that was,
There,
oh my God, the cheese.
there is
Yeah.
nothing better than the sound of
Oh my
American
God.
muscle and the
Turns
way
me
that
on.
it feels when it purrs and you that slap shift B&M slap shifter with hooker
Oh
headers. I
my
mean,
God.
I feel like
And I can too. I learned how to drive on a stick. My
yep.
dad, the punk that he is, gave dropped off my car. And Well, no, I won't say I learned how to drive. I learned how to drive a stick because my parents dropped off a car that was a stick and said, "Good luck," in the middle of Arlington. Arlington.
God bless
Okay.
you.
So, needless to say, I stripped that really quick. My dad was like, "Good luck, you'll figure it out." I'm like, "What?"
See, I learned how to drive on an old farm truck. So that big old shifter, you know, the
Oh
one.
yeah, or the side shifter too next to the wheel. But yeah, cars. I love cars. I love, if it was a classic and there was a guy behind the classic that looked like Sean or Dominic or maybe the mysterious one, that'd be great. But I probably would demand that I drive as well because I'm
Right?
just that girl. I love the
Well,
drive.
you see Cecilia try. I mean, she really does. She gives it the best effort.
Oh, just wait. You haven't witnessed it all. Just wait, darling.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
she.
I have
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
You get the
I was
whole evolution, my love. So
I know I
I'm
was telling
excited for you to finish.
we were just talking, and I said I'm like halfway through. Would you say probably about halfway through Exodus?
Exodus.
And then so I've already been warned that I'm cruising for a bruising.
You are
So
cruising for a bruising big time. Like there's
and
absolutely like everybody feels differently, but the general consensus is screaming, crying, mad, upset, absolutely hated it, but hated to love it. So, my
I'm
recovery
ready.
room it's not even quadrupled. It's like whatever times infinity. It went from 400 members to 7,000 within the last year.
But
And that to me is incredible. I know a lot of people have a lot big groups, but to me that was just like we were like, whoa, whoa. And it's just thousands. It's not hundreds, it's thousands of posts from them daily. And it's just the most wonderful thing. It's
you have
wonderful.
you've really got talent as an author whenever you can make people feel that, evoke that kind of emotion. And you do character arcs and redemption arcs so beautifully. I mean,
Thank you.
legit, with the starting one way, and then I'm feeling about these characters, and then all of a sudden something else happens, and I'm like,
That is my,
I'm
it is absolutely the most important thing to me. And without getting too, I do a heat check. I do, if I'm not feeling it,
right.
I know that it's not going to translate.
Yeah.
So I will work. There's a particular scene, chapter 25 in Flock at the lake.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
Everybody knows that one.
That scene was written 12 times. 12 times.
Hey, the 12th time was the charm because
yeah.
I will say no more.
Yeah, it was. So, and if I'm not crying, if I didn't feel it, then I will listen to a song and I will pace on my porch until I've come up with the right words to convey to hurt. And there's a particular scene that you're going to get to at the end of Exodus that I literally was just like collapsed after I was done. I really am a method writer to my core. So I am living every moment as every character. I really wish I could be more objective and say that's just a character, but it's not. I'm living the story as I'm writing it.
I'm very similar. We get attached to our characters. It's like they become real people,
right,
to us. If you take the time to really do character development, then you get invested in those characters too. And that's
absolutely.
And so
I grieve. I go through what I call book postpartum. When I'm done with the story, it's like I've given birth and I miss them, and it's not the greatest thing, and it doesn't feel that great. It's pretty terrible, but that lets me know that I did something worth my time, worth all the wrinkles and the
hangovers,
the running trips to the the running trips to the bathroom, and the nightmarish hair, and the face pillow wrinkles that you get, and sleepless nights. I watched six sunrises while writing that series. 6.
Oh, I can imagine it, because sometimes whenever you're on the track,
I call it the zone. Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever you're in the zone, you kind of press pause, and then before you know it, the entire night's gone. But the Ravenhood series is so big right now, and I'm devouring it, like I said. But guys, the thing that I love about this series is that it's not just spice with a plot. A lot of times, you'll see a book that has a lot of spice and you're like, well, what about the plot? But there's a serious plot with spice. And by the way, bravo on the spice, because it is very, very nice.
Thank you. And you just got the tip of the iceberg. So I can't wait for you to read. There's some really good ones. I don't think anything will quite beat chapter 25, but there's some things that come close. Yeah. I love, a lot of authors hate writing those scenes. Me, I'm like, here's my favorite part. And maybe that makes me a little bit perverted, but I love them. I love writing them. Yeah.
I think there's a part of us, and especially as a reader, I said, oh, Cecilia, my 20-year-old emotions just cannot take anymore. I think there's something that brings us back to that time in our life when we crave that kind of all-consuming, soul-stealing, drama-filled romance that is destined to end badly. And
15-year veteran in the marriage thing. So and anyone who's been married a long time or with someone for a long time knows that, you never can quite, it goes away. It becomes more of a friendship. You could still be in love. Yes, you could still be intimate, but it's very different. And I really wanted to recapture that. It started with a dream.
You did.
It started with a dream. It was the whole secret society behind it. It started with a dream. I had a horrible dream, and I have them. I dream just like Cecilia. I dream vividly, and I remember my dreams, and sometimes I can force myself back into my dreams. So I started with a dream. I woke up and I called my sister. I said, look, I've got to write a character that has dreams that can ruin days, hours, or even a whole day of her life. And then it just kind of
snowballed.
And then, because it was an election year. So all of this controversy was going on. And for me, I'm just like, well, government's not the answer. So I wrote my version of what I hope to, the change I would like to see. So it's kind of a political thing too, but not political, but it's kind of like, I wrote the heroes that I hope to come in. And the oddest part of it is that as I was writing these things that I've gathered for myself, and I've kind of thought about, suspicious wise about certain things going on, confirmation started coming in that it really was going on. And I was like, holy crap, man, this is great. I wish I would have gotten this out a year ago because, for me, it was new information that it was really going on. A lot of people, but it was amazing the way it went from just having a girl in this town who can remember her dreams vividly. And I knew I wanted to do multiple love interests.
Right.
And then, everybody was at each other's throats in 2020. It broke my heart. It made me feel like humanity as a whole was just nosediving. So I wrote the heroes that I hope, would come along, because government for me was not the answer. So, and it is not the answer for me personally. Please don't. That's just, so I wrote modern day heroes.
No, it's I'm starting to get that, and I'm starting to get that guys, there's a really detailed and layered plot underneath a lot of this that's going on. And I cannot wait to, delve even deeper into that whole thing.
It's all the way to the very last book, to the very last page. No, the very last chapter. But up to 70% of the finish line, which is the third book,
right?
You're still getting, oh my God, aha moments of how far the whole thing was, past, present, and future, how far and how complex the whole thing was. And that I am really, really proud of. I'm really proud of. It took a lot of thinking.
And you even said that the third book was not necessarily something that you had planned.
No, I was going to leave everyone bitter, very bitter, and a little bit hopeful and slightly happy.
Can you guys imagine if
I
the
wanted to
finish
leave
line
people
has been
unsatisfied in a way, because those are my favorite books. Have you ever read
bittersweet
Robin
kind
Lee's
of?
book? What's it called? You know, it's one of the best books I've ever read, and I've read it twice. And The Idea of You by Robin Lee.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't.
That book left me heartbroken and bitter, and it still remains one of my favorites. And I wanted to write something like that, but then I decided to write a prologue for the readers because they were showing so much love, and I had a little bit of story to tell, and I did leave them kind of hanging. The third book ended up being the longest book I'd ever written. It took forever for the main character to talk to me and tell me the stories. And it was worth it. It was worth it. I think if I hadn't written that third book, for some, they wouldn't love the series as much. But a lot of them are stopping at Exodus too.
Really? No,
I think that's really bad and sad.
I'm in for the ride. I mean,
Yeah.
no, I have fair warning, that I'm about to be emotionally bereft, but, I'm ready
Hope
for
so.
it. I'm ready.
I want you to be a victim, but
hey,
it really is an injustice and a
it.
disservice if they don't finish the third book, because there is so much that happens that explains everything that was kind of a mystery.
Right.
It goes behind the scenes and explains everything along the way.
Still, I'm thinking that I'm picking up, the pieces that I'm supposed to, and I'm putting them together, and then you throw something else at me, and I'm like, okay, so maybe I need to rethink this. And I love how you do that, because you constantly keep readers on their toes. And I think that's why it's caught on so much. And everybody's like, you have got to read this series.
I love suspense. And I tried my hand at erotic suspense under a pen name, Angelica Chase. And then I eventually published those books under my regular name. And but I did that for a while. And then I started on more along the romance, the contemporary romance, rom-coms. I've been like, don't put me in a box. I'll write anything that I feel like writing. I would never even attempt fantasy right now, because those authors to me are the most brilliant. I have no idea how they do it. I have no idea how they do it. That's just kind of far out of my realm right now.
Well,
creating whole other species or kinds of beings and what they look like and what they can use and what powers they have and the worlds. I'm like, man, I'm just trying to create something different than Boy, Dick, and Jane meet, fall in love, but anyway, yeah,
get married, live a happy life, HEAs. But I mean, you've already kind of said a little bit, that the third book was really difficult for you to write because the character just didn't want to cooperate. But what are some parts in the book that were really difficult for you to write?
For a long time, I didn't want to let the villain be the villain. It was too hardcore for me, and my soft heart just couldn't take it. And I didn't want him to do bad things. And
you wanted to get that redemption.
Yeah. And so, but I finally just had to make peace with him and go, he's a villain. Keep him the villain. Keep him in with being a villain.
Right.
Every once in a while, remind yourself and the reader they're a villain. And that was probably one of the hardest parts. And readers still to this day try and hold me responsible for what I've written. I'm like, it's character. He's a villain. And he's not apologizing for it. End of. So it's just one of those things. But yeah, I think just letting the character be who they are sometimes, instead of, because I am a method writer. So I'm saying, not what would Kate do? What would Sean do? What would Cecilia do? What would the villain say? What would this guy say? What needs to happen? So that was one of the hardest parts. Yeah, definitely. Letting the villain be the villain.
It certainly works for this series and for you being a method writer, because you have such talent when it comes to making. I mean, it really did bring me back to my 20s. Like I said, won't go into any more detail because nobody wants to
Yeah,
hear
I mean,
that.
it's just
But
definitely this is definitely a series about the degrees of love,
yes,
for sure.
and
And
how you
I
learn
want everyone to feel it in every single degree.
and how you learn some things the hard way, and
Yes,
how we need to have those experiences so that we don't repeat those same mistakes in the future.
right.
And I saw,
Or
and
at least so you know there's different degrees of love, and they're all genuinely love, but which
you prefer
yeah, which do
it's
you prefer?
healthiest. Yeah,
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 because
exactly.
even the best love, the best feeling, the love that feels the best is sometimes the worst for you.
I know,
So
right? Isn't that the truth?
we all
Um,
have lived it. Well, a lot of us have. One of the saddest things that ever happened to me as an author is when someone posted in my group, "Is love really like this?" And just think it just makes me cry every time I think about it, because one, I felt like I hope to God she gets to experience it that way. Two,
I'm
it made me
sorry.
realize that not everybody has and not everybody will. And I was the one of the lucky few, because I have felt it, um, just like Cecilia. So yeah, but yeah, it is. It's a love. It's just a learning thing. It's a love in every degree. It's an evolutionary story. There's a lot of.
Yeah,
It was very
you
hard for me to come up with a category for it, other than romantic suspense.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, I would definitely contemporary romance or romantic suspense. I mean, I really don't know. It kind of defies categorization.
Inspirational.
Yeah, I mean, it has so
Enemies to
many different,
lovers, friends to lovers. It was a
right.
bunch,
But you really
and
did see Cecilia. I love that you show her growth as a person. I mean, she begins as this girl that really has no clear path, no clear direction, and then once she becomes entwined with
yes,
Sean in the very beginning, and we'll just talk about the very beginning. But you start to see how she changes once she sees, that
and some of those changes are provoked by
right.
a lot of her a lot of their changes are provoked by the situations with the men she falls in love with.
Right.
But a lot of the changes are things she already had in her too, and I love
Yes.
that.
You
She
see
has a
that. You kind of just
tenacity,
see that.
and she has an empathy for people. She grew up poor, so she already some of those things are already embedded. They're just embedded to the point where she's not using them situationally in life yet. Like, this is a kid freshly graduated from high school, had to
Right.
take care of her sick mother,
Yep.
mentally ill mother. Really, she just her mother was a depressive, so it's just kind of like it was, her evolution. We get to witness it all. We get to, with her giving Sean the gate code right out, that's
Right.
something you would do. I think
No.
that's something an everyday girl really would do. I mean, you invite someone to your house, you just, hey, this is it. But oh
In
man,
your older years, you're like, oh my God, I would never do that. And then
right,
you're like, oh,
right,
well, actually,
yeah, 44.
right.
And right now, I'd be like, I'm not giving you my gate code. I'll buzz you in. You know what I mean? But when you're 19, you're like, oh, there's a hot guy. So it's so funny how we react differently later, and how we're like, no, stupid, don't do it. But I wanted her to be stupid for, at least stupidly in love, stupidly naive, because we all are at some
At
point
one
in our
point in our
life.
life, yeah.
Yeah.
Ditto. Jinx.
Or else we don't have any lessons to learn, and what's the point? There's no
You know,
point in the journey if you're not learning and growing. So
absolutely. And I can definitely say that I've made a lot of mistakes in my journey of life. But I can also say, without a doubt, I have lived. So,
and that is the funnest part of, and that's one of the greatest things about, us having the medium that we have, because I have lived 100 lifetimes. I have. I mean, and they were all within a span of like 7 years.
oh,
And I'm going to write every single lifetime. And, I'm pretty sure I'm repeating a lot by this time, 24 books later. But there's still stories to be told that aren't mine, that aren't exactly parallel to the road I traveled, but are close enough to where I can relate to the point where I can convey it and hopefully draw emotion and entertainment out of it. But
well,
oh man, I did. I'm the kid that took the road less traveled.
Oh, I
Yeah.
absolutely did. Buck
Oh
Authority
my Lord. Did I
and
ever?
everything else. But, I was the adopted kid. So, my parents had my sister who was a natural child. And so I was always the odd man out. So I just kind of embraced that. And I was like, hey, I'm the weirdo of the family and I'm just going to be weird.
I've always wanted, like, you know, I've always had this urge to be in this arena always since I was young, and it started
Right.
when I went to the theater and saw Steel Magnolias with my mother.
Oh my
When I
God.
looked around and saw, for everybody who's listening who doesn't know, watch that movie. It's very old, but it's very, very good.
Oh my
That When
God.
I looked around the theater that day and I saw that everybody was laughing through tears, and you know what scene I'm talking about.
Yes,
I
I
thought,
do. Take a whack a Weezer.
this is as close to magic
Yeah.
as magic gets. And I just immediately knew that I wanted to be a part of that magic. And so it's really great to have finished a series like this and actually have been hanging over the side of my pool with an empty liquor bottle going, I really hope they feel this.
Well,
And wow, did they feel it?
Oh, without a doubt. And the impact that it's continuing to make, the ripple effect that it's continuing to have, you'll be surprised. And it has people wondering, and I have to ask, because people will be mad at me if I don't. What's coming? I mean, where are you going next? How are you going to destroy us next? Because we want it.
I have really been selfish. My readers have afforded me a few months to do, and this is a good thing. My readers have afforded me, thank God to them too for it. After 24 books, and I made an announcement 2 years ago that I wanted to be a screenwriter. My heroes are John Hughes, Quentin Tarantino, this, that, and the other. Like I have a lot of writers that I look up to as far as pros, and my peers. I'm a huge fan of my peers. I will shout a book from the rooftops if I love it. Matter of fact, I mean, Danielle Laurie's series, the Maid series, I've had a couple that I've just gone ape crap over this year. But a lot of my heroes are Quentin Tarantino, John Hughes. He wrote stories for an entire generation in his 30s. In the 80s.
We remember that. Isn't that so crazy? The
Scorsese,
Breakfast Club.
that whole duo, Lucas, all of them, screenwriters. Hollywood has really been something that I've wanted to get into for quite a while. Do I personally want to be famous? No, but I would love to write a movie that is a must-have, like The Notebook, Steel Magnolias, Forrest Gump. That stack of DVDs. Well, no one has DVDs anymore, but you know what I mean.
I don't know why you have not yet been approached about the series, because I could absolutely see this being turned into a movie.
It would be my dream. It would be my absolute dream. And for the last 6 months, I have become a student. I have been taking master classes from the Queen, Shonda Rhimes. I have been taking master classes from James Cameron. I got the software. I have been writing screenplays for 6 months. That's what I've been doing. So as far as book publishing goes, right now, I am not doing anything yet. I do have an opportunity to expand with 2 characters, one that the readers are begging for, and one that the readers really probably aren't even interested in, that I will make them interested in. So,
okay, guys.
Yeah, there's a very good chance that something accompanying the Ravenhood series, a spinoff, is coming. But I am in the midst of, I'm still a student right now. I'm still a student. I'll forever be a student. I'll never think I've mastered the art of writing or anything. Screenplay writing is freaking amazing. I love it. I'm loving every minute of it. I'm loving every minute of my adventure of learning. But I am a student, and I'm paying attention. I'm taking notes. It's insane. And it's just been so fun. And I have managed to come up with a few things. So I'm really, really excited to see, hopefully, maybe that avenue will open up.
Oh,
but we'll see.
Hey, you guys heard it here
first. My dream.
Thank you. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come on the show and talk with me. It has been
I haven't shut up.
Beyond amazing.
Thank you so much for having me, my fellow Texan.
Yes,
Red lipstick wearing.
And, I know, right? And we got it going on. And anytime that you feel like coming back on the show, shoot me an email. Let me know. Guaranteed, make time. Whatever I'm doing.
I'm so honored, and like I said, I just think it's amazing. I read about your journey, and I just think it's incredible. And it's really hard for me to be not open, but
yeah,
the way you reveal yourself online and the struggles you've been through and what you've overcome, it's very, very inspiring. So keep that crap up, lady, because I read your bio and I read your journey, and I was so honored, that you wanted to talk books with me. So thank you for having me. Anytime. I think that's what I was trying to say.
Anytime. I just about jumped out of bed whenever I got the email that you would be coming on. I mean, it's an absolute pleasure, and it has been a blast getting to talk with you. Thank you.
I hope you'll email me or message me when you're done reading the books. Just let me know.
Yes, I will.
Unless you hated them, and then silence is golden. Just kidding.
No.
Or join recovery. I mean, it's a blast in there. That room, those ladies do not care. They tear me up. But yeah, thank you so much for having me, honey. And I really hope you enjoy the rest of them. And I'll send you your own wings.
I love it. I cannot wait. I get to be a part of the Ravenhood for real.
Yeah, they've got wings on the back. Well, there they are. Yep, gotcha. There's wings. Yep.
Awesome. So and if you guys are interested in some of the swag and signed copies as well, you have those on your website. And I
have signed copies on my website, and there's an Etsy shop called Book Tees and Booty. And she's my merch. She's got t-shirts and hoodies and bags and all that stuff. And because I love the entrepreneur, everything goes to Diane, but she's my girl. So
awesome. Well, I will have your link down in the description below. Everybody go check that out.
Absolutely.
And stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see you again next time. Kate, it has been a joy. Thank you.
It has. I adore you. Thank you. All right, honey. Thank you.